It all started on this crisp autumn afternoon in downtown Seattle, right outside the gleaming offices of Ramirez Tech, I mean. The sun was beating down, folks were spilling out for lunch, chatting about weekend plans or whatever deal they just closed, and then bam, out of nowhere, this voice slices through the noise like a knife. Don't step into that crosswalk. Heads whip around. Conversations die mid-sentence. And there I was, Marcus Thompson, the guy who usually fades into the background mopping floors after hours, standing there with my bucket tipped over, soapy water pooling at my feet, my heart pounding, because I saw something no one else did. See, Elena Ramirez, she's the big shot CEO, striding out like she owns the city, which she kinda does, with her sharp suits, that confident click of her heels, and a reputation for turning startups into empires. She was about to cross the street to her parked Tesla, phone in hand, oblivious to the world. But me? I'd been cleaning those windows all morning, and from my spot, I spotted this shady figure lurking by the alley, revving an old pickup truck way too aggressively. Eyes locked on her like he had a score to settle, turns out. Later we learned he was her ex-business partner's brother, nursing a grudge over some land deal gone sour years back, where Ramirez Tech bought out his family's property for a new campus, leaving them high and dry, fueling this deep-seated resentment that boiled over into something dangerous. I didn't think twice. Hey, lady, stop. I yelled again, dropping my mop and lunging forward, because if I waited, she'd be flattened. Elena freezes, spins on her heel with that annoyed glare she's famous for. Like, who the hell are you to bark orders at me? But before she can snap back, the truck roars to life, tires screeching as it barrels toward the crosswalk, and that's when chaos hits. I grab her arm. Yeah. Me, the night shift custodian no one ever notices, yanking her back, just as the bumper whizzes past, clipping the curb where she stood a second ago. Gasps everywhere. Someone drops their latte. Security guards come running, shouting into radios, and the driver, this wild-eyed guy named Vince, hesitates, curses under his breath, then peels out, disappearing into traffic while horns blare like mad. Man, my knees were shaking after that. But Elena? She straightens her jacket, brushes off my hand like it's nothing, though her face is pale as a ghost. What just happened? She stammers, her voice cracking for the first time anyone can remember, because she's used to boardrooms where she calls the shots, not dodging death in broad daylight. I catch my breath, wipe sweat from my brow. That truck was gunning for you, ma'am. I saw him waiting, engine idling too long. Eyes fixed. Wasn't no accident. Security swarms, calling the cops, reviewing cams that later confirmed it all. Vince's grudge wasn't just talk. He'd been harassing her online anonymously, escalating from bitter posts about corporate greed stealing family land to this near hit and run, all because that old deal left his brother bankrupt and the community divided, some siding with progress, others crying foul over lost heritage. Back inside, the office buzzes like a hive, whispers in the break room. Did the janitor just save the boss? While others snicker, like that smug accountant, Larry, leaning over his cubicle. Hey, hero. Think you'll get a medal or just extra mop duty? His tone dripping with sarcasm, because guys like him, with their ties and bonuses, can't stand when someone below them steps up. It's like I disrupted the whole pecking order. Me? I'm just a single dad from Tacoma, raising my 10-year-old son, Jamal, in a cramped apartment after his mom bailed. I dropped my college dreams of engineering to keep us afloat, taking this gig for the steady pay, telling Jamal every night, buddy, strength ain't about titles. It's about doing right when no one's watching. But that day, everyone was watching, and Elena, she couldn't ignore it. The next morning, tensions thick, folks eyeing me in the halls, some nodding respectfully, others muttering about how I overstepped, like I should have minded my own business instead of grabbing the CEO. Elena calls me up to her penthouse office, this glass fortress overlooking Puget Sound, and there she is, poised behind her desk, awards gleaming. Marcus, right? You realize no one grabs me like that, ever, she says, her voice cool, but edged with something vulnerable, like she's replaying the near miss in her head. I stand there, hands in pockets. Ma'am, if I'd hesitated, we'd be talking funerals. That guy's beef with you runs deep, from what I hear about that land grab back in 15. She leans forward, eyes narrowing. You know about that? It was business, pure and simple. His family got fair market, but resentment festers. I guess still, you didn't have to risk your neck. But I shrug. When you've scraped by like I have, you learn to spot trouble, couldn't let it slide. That's when things flip instead of a pat on the back and back to mopping. Elena pauses, studies me like I'm a puzzle piece she missed, and says, "You're wasted on floors. That instinct, that courage we needed in security." Boom. Just like that. She announces it company-wide in this packed auditorium, spotlights on, her voice echoing. 2 days ago, I almost lost everything because of an old grudge, but Marcus saw it coming. He's no longer invisible. Starting today, he's training for our exec protection team, full benefits, because real leaders protect, no matter the uniform. The room explodes, cheers from the admins who'd felt overlooked, grumbles from execs like Larry, who corners me later in the cafeteria, hissing, "Enjoy the ride, janitor. One slip, and you're back where you belong." Pure jealousy, since my heroics highlighted how he'd ignored those anonymous threats bubbling in community forums. Training's brutal drills at dawn, learning protocols, but I dive in, thinking of Jamal's proud grin when I told him, "Kiddo, Daddy's not scrubbing anymore. I'm keeping folks safe, like a guardian angel with a badge." Elena checks in, surprisingly human. "Marcus, that land deal haunts me too. Maybe I was blind to the fallout." She admits one evening over coffee, her guard down, sparking this unlikely bond where we swap stories, me about scraping by, her about the isolation of power. But not everyone's thrilled. Vince gets caught weeks later, spilling how the community's whispers, HOA meetings turning toxic, neighbors pitting corporate invaders against locals fueled his rage, exposing cracks in Seattle's booming tech scene. In the end, watching from my new post as Elena seals a deal that includes community reinvestment parks on that old land, scholarships for displaced families, it's satisfying, like justice finally tilting right, her heels clicking confidently again, but with a nod my way that says, "We did this." Yet, here's the thing that sticks. Was it fair? I mean, one act flips my life, but what about others grinding away unseen? Does saving the boss erase years of inequality, or just spotlight it? Kinda makes you wonder about grudges. Are they ever justified, or do they poison everything? Hey, if this hits home, drop a comment. Ever stepped up in a moment like that? Or felt overlooked in your own world? Share your take on grudges and comebacks. Subscribe if you want more real talk stories, and let's chat about what real justice looks like in communities like ours.